That show rolls, man. Welcome to the Circle of Debate podcast. This is my first episode as a host, per se, with music and musicians, the topic. Today we have one half of one of my favorite bands, Rivals. Mickett's looking for the rest of the band. I don't think they're showing up. We got Kaylee and
They're
Mickett.
not here. I thought they were in that box.
They're in the box, dude. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Kaylee is all things vocals. Mickett is all things guitars. I have my co-host and Circle of Debate partner in crime.
One, two, three.
The Carbonation Carbone.
The Carbonation Cabron, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's all about sparkling water. Ever since the beginning of quarantine, sparkling water and onions are my best friends.
Ew, yeah, no. I brush my teeth before every podcast.
That probably smells horrible.
So I'd like to welcome both of you guys. I know we couldn't get the other members, but they were for sure see this and wish they were here. Shout out to my boys Seb and Josh, who are the rhythm section, who are always late to. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
One of them for sure is late to most things.
Yeah, and
we don't tell you which one.
We
the
both
rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. I'm late.
Yeah, right. So I want to go over what's going on in the world of Rivals right now. I know quarantine has put a slowdown on everything. You guys, I know for a fact we're doing upwards of 200 shows a year, it seems like, because I was roommates with your drummer Josh for 3 years, and I barely got to know the guy. He was never home. No, I love Josh, but one of the hardest working bands I've ever seen in my life, like straight up. Like I've seen many bands that were much bigger than anything I've ever done come and go through the tour life, and you guys just grind 24/7. Come 2020, March happens, everything's canceled. Up until that point, though, you guys were on a timeline, in my opinion, to become, I think, as big as you deserve. With the drop of Damn Souls about a year and a half ago. What is quarantine since that happened? The band is still together, obviously. You're still working on projects. I know you had moved. What's up?
I hate to burst your bubble, but Damn Soul came out it was 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
3 years ago.
I said a year and a half.
New classic.
New classic. Yeah, I like that.
I every time I think about it, it's so weird because it does not seem like it was that long ago. It honestly seems like it was like a year.
It doesn't, because when I was living with Josh, I mean, I remember it goes from working on the new album when he was working at Swing House Studios to working on an album art to filming the video for Damn Souls to going on tour for it to where we are now. This year's gone by so fast, even though it's been such a hellish year for pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like it's almost Halloween somehow.
Yeah, in like 3 days, 5 days. I'm not good with time frames, so I mean, I think it's coming up.
Oh shit! Yeah, 4 days, 5 days, 20.
Yeah, it's one of those years where you don't think it's going to get any worse, and it just somehow does.
Yeah.
And everyone is trying to make the best of it. I know.
Mickey, why are you laughing?
Because it's true and it's sad.
Yeah, I mean, you got to laugh to keep from crying. It's just every corner you're like, oh, it can't be worse than. I don't want to bring anything up to bump people out, but we all know the tragedies that have happened almost on a weekly basis since the beginning of this year. And I mean, it can demotivate a lot of people. That's for damn sure.
That's for damn soul.
Yeah, I knew you were going to bring that. That was a setup. I gave you the layup. But it can also be motivating. Like, for me, example, like I don't mind being stuck in my room, and it's also motivated me to learn how to write and record at home, just because I have the time. What have you guys been doing since essentially March to pass the time? I know Kaylee, you moved from where you were to where you're at now. We don't need to talk specifics about that.
Yeah, I'm in Nashville now.
Okay, I love Nashville. I've only been there once, and I loved it.
It's great. But yeah, for me, actually make it too. Both of us, we were home and we were just like, you know what? Let's go back to school. So him and I are both in school. I'm majoring in computer science, and I think he's engineering. I'm
mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering. I said engineering.
Yeah, I don't know the difference between the two, but you're smarter than I am already. So now, those are digital classes?
Yeah, everything.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, all my classes are through Zoom. Like some of my like my coding classes are like they're all online. Like I don't even really do like a class. There's no class. She
They
gives
just
us some
send you something and you do it and you send it back in.
pretty much, yeah.
Nice. And then for the engineering,
Yeah.
what is that specifically to what? I mean, I don't want to assume that's for a hobby. That's for a lifestyle or a career. What are you using that skill set towards?
You know what's
Look it
funny
up.
is everybody keeps asking me like, oh, like, you know, what career path are you specifically trying to get into like after you get your degree? And I was like, nah, like I just kind of want to know how to build things. Like this has nothing to do with like a career. Like if one comes my way, down. I'm super down. Like let's make, you know, 6 figures, whatever. But like I just want to be able to like, you know, build cool robot stuff for myself. Like, you know, 2020 moon boots. That's what I want. Like it's not a big deal.
Oh, dude, that'd be
You know?
sick.
You got me so excited, Mick. I gotta say, it's like you got me so excited. Just you know, robots. You know, but like everybody thinks of like 2 things with robots, like either killing or you know,
Robot wars.
you know, either that. You know,
I don't know about me, bro, but I know where your head's at in that game. Damn, dude. I was thinking like robot musicians.
that's what I was saying. I was saying like no,
Oh.
most people always think those 2 things.
Oh,
But I'll-
we're talking about robot sex.
I don't know. I wasn't. So we know where her head's at.
So all the basically like you get the robot to do a job for you and make money, go out and make money for you, and then they bring the money back home. And they could do like be a session musician for you and touring musician, and they could, you know, and they could clean your house, you know, and they could be your car at the same time. So it transforms into a car and it's your band at the same time. So
And your wife.
Like like Bill and Ted, right?
yeah, there you go.
Station's creation,
Right?
man. Hell yeah.
It's-
You're totally in
it's
that.
your car and it's your band at the same time.
That
Like, I don't know
definitely-
why
definitely
people haven't thought of that.
Definitely
Are you-
shows my age, that station creation.
You look like you were milking a cow.
Now, I should have done more
okay.
turning with it.
Okay, so real talk, and I'm not sure if I'll ever do this, but I want to recreate a real working version of Dr. Octopus's backpack from Spider-Man.
Ooh, I think that's totally possible. We just got to get you some tritium.
That's needed.
Right?
That's
He's
needed.
so slow though. At least with right
I
now.
don't know. I mean, I don't know what I would do with it, but if I could just walk around with it and be like, yo,
You should make power armor.
gotcha, you know?
Oh, I like, yeah. She's singing Fallout. I like that. That's my language right there. Get some Nuka-Cola.
Is this bulky dude? Like, hey, screw you.
You like get out. You like get out. Like good order.
I'm like, oh,
So Chris, I wanna jump in right now with this question for Kaylee.
Yeah.
Yes. See, I caught myself there. So it's about like just vocal background. What's your vocal range and what is your vocal training like? Are you an alto, soprano, mezzo soprano? And what like vocal training have you had in the past? Like private lessons, choir, teachers singing in church, you know, like
Yeah. I'm definitely an alto. For sure. I think.
for sure, I think.
For sure, I think.
Most definitely, maybe.
Actually, a lot of my singing is self-taught. I did later when we were touring a lot. I did go and take some lessons just for stamina wise, like in regards to better technique, so I didn't lose my voice or hurt myself. Just because, like, you know, Chris mentioned we were touring a lot. You know,
I was not exaggerating when I said, I mean, I don't know if you guys keep like a tour log just as a band by like diary. It had to have been 200 shows. I 2000, at least in 17, 2018. One of those 2 years, it was a fuck ton. I mean,
it was a lot.
You can list the bands that you either were direct support for or had open for you, which 90% of the people that listen to that genre of music will know if they don't know Rivals.
Yeah, it was definitely a crazy year. But yeah, so like a lot of my my vocals are self-taught. I just kind of, I will give, you know, credit where credit's due in regards to going and getting lessons in regards to not hurting myself.
Yeah, blowing lymph nodes, you know, using
Proper technique.
diaphragm instead of just blowing the throat out. That's a whole different science that I'm not a singer at
It's
all.
like all the bands that you watch from like the 70s, and then you listen to their lives from like the 90s and then the later 2000s to see them, like all the songs are lowered by either a full step or a half step. And
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, it's not as high, it's not the same key it was originally. And you're just
Yeah,
kind of,
and you can see like one of the more famous examples of damage to lymph nodes in the throatal region is M Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold. Sounding the Seventh Trumpet was a hardcore metal record. He was a full-on screamer. Went on tour, came back. I mean, he was bleeding from internally, spitting out blood. Had to go get a surgery to correct that. He could never scream again. Hence, evolves into like Awaken the Fallen, I think is the next record. They're singing on it, and there's more and more singing, less screaming because of, I mean, it was a blessing in disguise, unfortunately, that he had to damage himself so badly he had to alter his singing style. But I think the version that they became was just much more listenable.
I'm gonna run lightning quick while we're talking about vocal damage.
Yeah, dude, totally segue. But was that ever something, did that, the catalyst for you wanting to control your singing happen because you felt damage happening? Or were you just like, man, my throat hurts, chemomills, I'm crushing it?
I was hurting myself so much to the point where I would literally completely lose my voice for like a couple days and then have to go sing again. And then it was like a repeating cycle over and over and over. Like I literally lost my falsetto for like a year and a half of my life.
And then sucks, and especially it feels dry in your throat when you can't do falsetto, like that kind of that feel. So here, since we're talking about vocal damage, it's not product placement unless like I'm friends with people in Hong Kong. Yeah. But this is such a necessary thing for so many like working singers. Nim Jom Pe Pa Koa. It's the Chinese syrup for the throat, and it helps with thinning voice. And this has been like my lifesaver just any time. And it is like, it's like so many different herbs, but you could find it at any Chinese market.
Oh, that looks like a chemical.
I thought that was like,
like
something.
No, you
like
take the syrup, you pour it into your hot water, you mix it with that, and then you drink it. And then, you could even take it straight sometimes. And it just has this really like nice freshness in the throat. It's like more effective than any lemon honey tea out there, because there's just so many different like healing herbs and like ginseng and so many. There's like a long list of all the herbs on here though, but it's like you could find it at any Chinese market though. Just look for this box.
I'll have to look for it. You'll have to send me the link, like what it is.
They have it on Amazon, so
click the link below.
If I have a deal with people in Hong Kong, then yeah, it's Texaco Swin Wan Hong Kong. So yeah.
Wait, what's it taste like?
It's very like minty, sweet, and very herby. It's so like ginger. A little bit like ginger and a little bit like licorice. It's somewhere in between. Not too licorice, so like just light,
Like when you accidentally put your chapstick in the dryer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say.
A little minty, kind of dirty. I don't know.
Well, I put my tea bags in the dryer.
Like kumquats, right? It's like loquats,
there's a different kind of
menthol honey, pinelia root. This is all these different herbs. So.
I'm pretty sure they made half that up.
Yeah, what a loquat.
So
I know what a kumquat is.
Yeah, loquat's like a cousin of the.
I couldn't pick it out of a lineup of fruits, that's for sure.
Yeah, loquat's like kumquat's cousin. It has like, it's very citrusy, small and sweet. It's like they're like cousins.
Oh, brothers. Like little oranges, right? They're like tiny oranges, almost
like tiny oranges.
Okay, I know.
And you could eat the skin too. You could eat the skin. So
nice. Those were cuties.
Yeah, cuties are like, I think it's cuties are like a farmed, like deliberately made that way by a brand called Cuties. It's like a weird GMO, I think. To pivot off of instrument maintenance, from KALIE'S voice back to Mick It with his engineering, I know you do a lot of your own work on your guitars. Is that accurate?
Yes, so, I've gotten more into it as quarantine has progressed. So.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the topic I want to bring up, is I know you play almost exclusively Fender Telecasters, not product placement. Is that still accurate?
That is true.
Cool.
Yes, that is true.
What are you doing to your Telecaster that they didn't do when you bought it stock that you wanted to do to them? What was it missing? What did you want to add? How'd you go about learning how to do that yourself?
I want to say that it's all Fender Telecasters, but now it's just turned into Telecasters. Just the shape,
the body
like,
shape. Okay.
Yeah, like what's in it is kind of more like this is what I feel like doing today, you know.
So it's not a particular.
As
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, are you just a tone junkie and you're just searching for that perfect tone? Is there a feature, or is it just what can you do? Let's see what happens.
Yes.
All of the above. That's good. That's all of us.
That was a great answer.
I don't like dive too deep into tone things because like kind of like exactly like you were talking about with doing your mixing is like you can only work on a mix so much and then you're screwing it up.
Yeah,
You know?
that's
diminishing returns. Diminishing returns.
Yeah. You got to know when to like call it a day, you know?
Yeah, it's the same with makeup.
So say it again?
It's the same with makeup. You can only do your makeup for so long before you can only get so pretty. Eventually you just stop
right, and then you start to look like a clown.
Yeah.
Violator from Spawn.
Oh my god! Just
that's a reference. So what is it? Was it catered to like live playing, or do you not know what it sounds like till you play live and you're like, shit, I got to roll the bass off of something, or does it get that technical? Is it just accidents?
Okay, so I know that I don't personally do the mixing for our stuff, but when I do some mixing, especially in my stuff, like the recording side and the live side are like almost completely different sounds.
Yeah, because obviously live is a completely different animal. It's humans playing. You don't have to compensate for EQs and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's like in recording, it's like I feel like we're just working on like the overall aesthetic of it, like how it fits and ships in this giant, I guess, concept of a speaker. But like when it comes to live, like, and this is, you know, for like all guitar players, like whomever decides to watch this, like think about breakage. Like that's such a big problem that no one considers. Like if you make like if you're sitting in your house and you're like this close to your speaker and you're making a tone and it sounds like super clean and super just crisp, when you bump that up, that's how you kill people's ears. Like it's like this weird shrill thing that goes right over the top and everyone's just like, I don't know what's going on because I'm half deaf now, you know? So like I tend to make my my live guitar tones like at a lower decibel and then like kind of darken them a little bit, knowing that when it gets bumped up, it'll mix with the bass and everything in comparison to say like
that's one of the best options.
Yeah. So many of us will definitely be like sound check, sounds good, and then you know we're good to go. And as soon as we actually start playing, we'll just sneak back to our amp and just go from 7 to 8 just a little bit so the sound guy doesn't see it. It's such a bad habit, but sometimes it's necessary. And I've definitely been in places where I've been so loud I couldn't hear myself, and I've been like, okay, this kind of sucks. I had to go turn that back down.
Yeah.
I definitely get that studio balance versus live balance. It's not a science. It's a magic. It's a craft.
So we're talking about sound balance. I guess question bounce back to Kaylee. So with microphones, are you a lead singer who's just comfortable with house mics, or do you bring your own microphone and you're more, you know, particular about it, or you know, I've invested a lot in my own microphones, so I'm very
definitely know how I only use house mics if there's something wrong with my mic, and actually we have a backup now, so we don't have to really do that anymore. But I have a Sennheiser 835 wireless.
Nice.
We're both team Sennheiser then. Virtual high five.
We're very fortunate. They sponsor us, which is great. Our whole in-ear rig is from them.
This is actual product placement then.
This is product placement. I have a Neumann 104 as my.
Get that out of here. We're talking about our Sennheiser sponsorship. Come on, man.
No, Neumann and Sennheiser are the same company.
Okay. I actually forgot about that. I'm the dumb.
Yeah, Sennheiser owns Neumann, so I was just like, it was like Team Sennheiser. Very good choice.
So when when we first started doing her, like getting her microphone, like we went out and tried a bunch, and we're like, okay, this will sound great here. This song, you know, like it wasn't just like pick a mic, you know.
Did you shotgun those in the studio with like the same song, and then you blind taste tested like this track sounded better, what mic to be used for that, and just do that until you found the right sound?
I mean, I would never use a recording mic for live. I don't really understand the question.
Oh, okay. Well, then that brings me to the new question. Did you have to do that for live and for recording, as far as
Well,
take
I
it, like the
had
blind challenge to get your sound?
I bought a Sennheiser. God, it was like a lower model. I had like a lower model for a while, like I don't know. It was like the $400 wireless, and as soon as we got the sponsorship, I obviously upgraded because we get the fortunates of getting percentages off and stuff. So I upgraded my mic, and I already had originally knew that. Whoa, this meeting has been upgraded by the host.
Hey, hey, you're welcome. I didn't do a damn thing. I
Upgraded.
think it's because it's my first hosting lesson. And we haven't even hit 40 minutes, so it's weird. Oh, it's because we have 4 people. That's why.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's all
already
good.
knew that I enjoyed the Sennheiser, so I just kind of stuck with that.
Okay, so you didn't have to A, B, C a bunch of live mics and compare. You just love the
Well, I
brand.
did just over the course of like our entire band career. I was
Right.
sure I was sure for a while. I had a Shure wireless. That was my first wireless mic, was a Shure, and I actually had a Shure like wired mic before my wireless.
Yeah, I have an SM57
wrong.
lying around somewhere.
Nothing wrong with Shure. I just felt like my voice came out better through the wireless, the Sen wireless than the Shure one. So that's kind of
Is that because of projection? Because you're loud,
Oh,
live.
I'm loud.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Like you definitely
Yeah.
are loud. You project, obviously, back to your vocal training with the
Yeah.
projection. So I know a lot of mics
very loud.
get real hot the louder you sing, and you have to sing quieter but turn up the mix. And
Yeah. So it's a
crazy
good
balance.
happy medium. So it ended up working out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. What else we got on the docket? I think that's it for Tech Talk. I mean, like, unless you guys want to bring up more gear stuff, I think that ends that right there. You guys are currently working on music. You have something upcoming. I don't know how much of it's been announced. How has the writing process been, being not in the same part of the country for all 4 of you guys?
Well, this record's been done for a very long time.
Okay. So this
we
record was done while you were still in LA.
We were on the verge of releasing it, and then COVID hit. So we were like, well, let's hold it. Let's see how long we can wait. Like maybe we can wait it out. Well, it's not going away. So we were just like, we're gonna just release it. So actually we announced a single tomorrow. Well, I guess the 5th.
Yeah. So we don't know when this is going to air. It might air the day we're recording this. It might be the day after. What is the actual date and the name of that particular single? And we'll definitely blast graphics to get that out there.
Oh, yeah. So the new single comes out on November 5th. And it is titled, oh my God, this is the first time I've said it.
Oh my goodness. Exclusive.
The song's called Lavenders.
Oh,
I like that.
very relaxing and soothing.
Oh, but it's not.
Yeah. That's what I love. What I love about the Rivals aesthetic is they kind of lure you in with what you would think what you would think is a traditional. I hate this term, but like girl band pop style. You're like, oh, that's just what it's gonna sound like. Then you listen to it and you're like, what the absolute? There's like love and angst.
It flips it.
Yeah, it's like heavy and catchy. There's romance, there's anger, all in one song. Like she tells us, the whole band, musically and lyrically, tell a story. They almost don't write songs like verse, chorus, verse, even though they may be that way. It's almost like, here's our character, here's our conflict, here's our resolution. Yeah. You can see that in their music videos. They have at least 5 or 6 actual music videos out there that all.
A lot more.
You have a lot more. I said at least 5 or 6.
There's so many coming.
Yeah.
So.
But go ahead and continue to talk about Lavenders.
Yeah. So Lavenders, actually, it's the very opposite effect. The whole song is about people who bury their head in the sand in regards to issues that are going on in the world around them. Literally, the lyric is, because all I smell is lavenders as the whole world burns around me. And like, it's like the kind of sense of like ignorance in a way, where you're just kind of ignoring everything that's bad in the world and trying to pretend that it doesn't exist.
And this was written pre-COVID, you tell me.
Yes, this was written.
This is the anthem
Actually,
for 2020.
This was like one of the first songs we wrote after Damsel. It was like one of the first.
That is insane. That is, I mean, like, ironically and unfortunately, perfect timing. Yeah, you predicted this, man. You're like the Simpsons.
Simpsons.
Apparently.
It's the Simpsons of songs.
And you mentioned that we'll talk about just this track, but you plan to release several singles up until the album release date, which might be TBD. I don't know how much of that you want to talk about. You're doing that right now. There's nothing in the works. Just worry about this one song. Comes out November 5th. It's called Lavenders.
I promise you we have an album coming. When we announce it, I cannot say. And when it will come, I cannot say. But we do have an album coming. It is coming, I swear to God. Everyone's been waiting for so long. I feel so bad. We kept teasing it. And we put out the Supernova EP as a way to kind of combat us trying to finish the record up. And then COVID hit. So it like went from being, oh, we'll wait a couple of months to, oh no, we're out a year. So
was that EP supposed to be part of whatever new record you have? And you just decided to put that out to keep the band kind of in the ears of listeners?
Yes. So actually those two songs were supposed to be on this record. Supernova was the first song that we wrote after Damn Soul.
Right.
And then it was Thunderstorm. And then actually right after Thunderstorm, we wrote Lavenders.
Gotcha. That's cool. I mean, I want the band to, I mean, not that it won't stay relevant, but it's a lot of times up to the listener to keep a band in the playlist, especially during quarantine where people are not playing shows. Bands are trying their best to do, I've seen like bands just play like at the Whiskey in front of nobody, they Zoom it. They're doing whatever they can to just keep their music in the ears of listeners. And I absolutely believe as long as Rivals keeps putting stuff out, there will be listeners. There will be people wanting and searching for new product from you guys. What I have right now is a screenshot of just your top 5 on Spotify. And I really want to talk about these numbers because you guys are some of my best friends. Rivals means a lot to me. And to see these numbers from people that I actually know and care about is insane. And I wanted to just get your reaction to where the progress of the band from when it started to what it sounds like now, if any of that was the goal. Like, were you like, did you put out Damn Souls and you're like, this is us, this is what we've always wanted to sound like?
Not at all. If you listen to our EP Haunted Hunted, it was like a lot more like pop punky. And then you wrote over it, or Make It wrote over it. And I was like, damn, this song's actually kind of lit. And then we kind of just kept writing that vibe as we were writing Damn Soul. And then as we started, like, honestly, it's just whatever where we've been writing is just what's been happening. It's like this weird, like almost, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just because we're getting older, we're evolving, we're changing as people. I don't know. But yeah, the new record, it's like our old stuff, but like if we grew up.
Right. So the evolution of the band there was a style you guys had. You obviously become better musicians. You have a more mature sense of what you want to sound like. And obviously the next record, whenever that does hit, is going to be an evolution from Damn Souls. But you're happy with how that works. You look back on something and you say, we love Damn Souls. It's great. We're completely proud of it. Yeah. It's time to do something better. What can we do to do that? Is that generally the attitude you have towards your material?
I mean, yeah, but also at the same time, like I almost feel like we're just kind of writing whatever feels right in the moment. Very much in the moment, because sometimes we write a really fucking heavy song and drop B. And another we write another song that sounds like Little Peep, and then another one that's like indie rock. And then we kind of just like, especially for like the upcoming record, it's all over the place. And like, it's just one thing that like, I don't know. It wasn't really on purpose. I knew that I wanted to do a bunch of songs that weren't the exact same genre over and over and over and make the same 12 songs over and over and over. So we just kind of went where it felt right.
Yeah. I love that you're not afraid to do that. One thing I want to, I really love, and I don't want to, beat a dead horse, but in Damn Souls, you have that awesome synth in the chorus that I love. That sounds like almost like Diplo came in and produced the synth tracks. And you're able to mix, like, you could just say this, it's not synth rock, it's not pop punk. You're not afraid to kind of be fringe between the two genres. It's heavy, it's catchy. So I love that you don't rule out possibilities for a song. You don't
Yeah,
start
no,
a song. I mean,
never.
you obviously throw away a bunch of tracks or ideas. Everybody does.
It's like the song has a right to live, you know. and,
Yeah, I mean,
Writing begins at inception.
exactly.
So that is something that's a lot of bands. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of bands that are as open-minded as that, but I like that you're not afraid to kind of mix it up within the genres.
no, I mean,
Kind of create your own genre per se.
you also think about it like this, okay? Josh is into some weird music, okay? He
I lived with Josh for 3 years, and he and I have parallels with all different styles of music. Yes, I mean he was in or is in or
Yes.
was in fucking
Outside the
Sisterhood of the Wild Traveling Witches.
he'd be like, we'd wake up in the van on tour, and he'd be listening to some like Nordic folk.
Yeah, like Blackmore's Night,
And
or
you're
like
what the fuck is this?
like he's into the Browning, which I know you've never heard of.
No, never.
No, never heard of the Browning.
But and then Seb's into like he's really into like
He's like a mumble rapper, right? Isn't he just like
he's really into rap.
he came over one time, and I think I was trying to just have a conversation with him, trying to get to know him. And I was like, oh, like, what do you listen to? Or what's your metal? Like, I don't know what it was. He's like, you're just
rap.
like, oh, dude, fuck man, it's not about rap, dude. I don't listen to rap. It's just rap. I'm like, okay.
And then Mickey is just all he likes is this is the only band he likes is the Wiggles. So so that's where
No shame.
No shame. Hey man, there's a lot of good music coming from Australia. I'll tell you what, man. It's AC/DC, the Wiggles.
But no, sorry. The only band that he likes is Avenged Sevenfold. So it's like kind of puts.
You do have an Avenged Sevenfold tattoo, right? Is that you?
He does.
Is that Mickey?
Two
That
of
have that? You have two of them. Okay, cool. Random rivals fact for the listeners out there.
And then I'm really into pop and hip hop and all that stuff too. So we have such a vast short like range of music and style that we all like. So it's for us, it's like it's not even about like walking in a studio and like today we're gonna write a freaking rock song or an alt pop song. It's like it's not about that. We go in there, we like listen to a few things or write a few things, we fuck around, and then someone goes, oh, that doesn't suck, and then we just build on it.
Nice. Yeah, like Josh will bring in like his deathcore. You'll bring in like your pop. Mickey brings in his Orange County metal. Seb will just throw a rap bass line in, and there's a rival song.
Yeah.
Pretty much what she's trying to say is we do what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck the system. I'm just kidding.
So you guys very easily have. I'm looking at, dude. I mean, that has to be at least 4 million listens combined on just Spotify alone. This is an aggregate of all platforms. Where were each of you sitting when you first saw the first track hit that seven-figure listen? You were like,
it was Moonlit.
Yeah, that's at 1.4 million right now. 1.432.
Technically, the first one was the whole album hit 1 million.
Okay.
Which that's crazy. Like for us, that was like, whoa, that's a lot. But then when you
I'm half of those, so to be fair,
one song hit 1 million streams by itself on Spotify, that's like a big deal. It was like a really big deal for us. And then now we're at like 6 million, and Moonlit's like almost at 2 million.
And that's just on Spotify. You guys are on other platforms, obviously, because you're successful, and you can't do that with just one home base. Were you just at home? Was it 2 a.m.? You're trying to fall asleep, and you just look at the numbers, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And you just dance around the house. Like, how did that happen? Like,
I think we were on tour. I think we were on tour when we hit 1 million for the album, and it was kind of one of those scenarios where we were. It was like after a show or something, and I'm pretty sure we were all super tired, and we were like, "Woo,
whatever."
We've been on tour for like 6 years straight. We're just like, okay, cool, or something. Like I don't remember. It was. I do remember. I'm pretty sure we were on tour, and then I'm pretty sure we were on tour when Moonlight 1 million too. I don't know. It was kind of one of those things where we're like, well, that's cool. I think the only thing that I like really kind of was really excited for me. Well, I mean, a lot of things have been really
I think I know one of them, but it's your ball. So.
Yeah.
I'll thumbs up if I'm right.
A lot of things in our career have been really awesome. We've done a lot of really cool things. Uh, I would say like the biggest press thing for me that was the most exciting was probably the Billboard one.
Yeah.
It's like
Nope,
that's
China.
yeah, China, and then we also had the American one too, and it was like double. I don't know, it was just really cool because to see Damn Soul on the Billboard website was one of the coolest experiences, I feel like, for me. And that was like actually kind of felt like the moment my mom finally was like, oh, you know? Okay.
This means something.
You're actually
Yeah, I mean that's our biggest publication. That's a big deal. So
Yeah.
I gotta say from an
Go ahead.
outside view, yeah, from like an outside view, from like I haven't really followed you guys much, but from the outside view of, you know, I probably flipped through like alternative press a few times, and I've been like just scrolled the page on Facebook, and I could see like the sponsored posting, and you guys, you know, I'd be lying if I said I didn't see you guys pop up a bunch of times from the like ads for Rivals, just pop up along the feed. You know, I'd see, and the logo was like the second Chris mentioned the band, I'm like, oh yeah, I recognize the name.
yeah.
Mostly, I think it's that branding. The especially with the V, especially the R and the V is probably the two things I probably remember the most just from it coming up. So it's like, did you guys like really invest a lot into like, you know, the promotion and, you know, the logo design and and things like that?
Yes. Well, actually, I think it depends on what logo, but
Let's talk about the Braille one if you want to get specific, because I love that logo.
Braille one was actually a random thought that popped into my head. It was right during our Tillian tour. We had a fan that came out who was deaf and had a sign language interpreter there. And it got me thinking just about how people with those like being blind or deaf is like, they don't get to experience music the same way. And for me, it just felt like there was like a part of like, they just needed to be more inclusive in that retrospect for people who, I mean, music is so important to so many people in so many different ways. And for us to touch the soul of somebody who can't even hear our music, and just from us as people and our lyrical content and our video content, like that was such a big deal for me. So I really wanted to incorporate the Braille into our logo, but it's one of those things where it's anytime we print the Braille, if we print the Braille, it's raised. If it's on clothes, anything, it's raised, except one mishap between a printer and us. That wasn't my fault. But we raise it because it's just like, that's the whole point. And if I can't raise it, I won't put the Braille on it. It's just not, that's not right.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah.
Like
what's the point of
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it was just, I don't know. I just wanted to like make it so that everyone could enjoy our music however they can, in whatever way they can. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, there's more than 5 senses, and hearing is just one of them.
Yeah,
that's for dang sure. And
Rivals does have a.
We have what?
Rivals does have a smell.
Yes.
It's Lavenders.
Oh, there you go.
No, it's sweaty ass.
The fact that I know you guys consider your fan base, like, you take into consideration they're not just the audience, they are a community.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of want to share two different stories real quick. One is about me and my relationship with the band and how the band's affected me. And then we're going to start telling some embarrassing stories and keep it kind of round off the rest of the podcast. But about 4 years ago, I had a quick brief moment where I had to live in my car. It wasn't the worst thing ever. It was fine. I was totally sustainable. But for about a month to 2 months, I was living in my car. Somebody knew somebody in North Hollywood who was looking for a roommate. I came out, I showed him $1,200 cash in hand. I told him some jokes, I made him laugh. It ended up being Josh, who about 6 months later ended up joining Rivals. So because of just the kindness of members of the band, I had a place to live. Cut to about 2 years ago, you guys are on tour, I believe, in New Mexico. Yes. And I don't know if you guys were looking to couch hop and just put a blast out on stage, like, hey, anyone want to let us crash at your house?
Yeah.
Or if you were looking for just like a temporary merch person. But Josh was going on tour a lot with you guys, and we needed to sublet and find a roommate who still to this day, 3 years later, lives with us, is one of my best friends. so there's just this crazy community of just the fan base taking care of each other. Literally, Josh and you guys found this girl in New Mexico. She wanted to come out here to be an actress. She helped you guys out. She moved in. She's been here ever since. I've been here. Josh has since moved on and moved in with someone much more important than I am. That's for damn sure. So to see that reflect from the band and you guys take care of each other is really appreciative. So I wanted to just thank all of you guys for just having that outlook with just listeners in general. So thank you. I mean, I should be thanking Josh. I should be thanking Josh, but you know, you guys are here, so it's what it is. He wants to go to a coffee shop and iPad all day long. That's all good.
Yeah, that's true.
And so for rotating embarrassing stories, we're going to go one for one. So I have one that is featuring members of Rivals, but it wasn't during a show, but it was when I was living. It wasn't at a show, but it was one time where I'm sort of a hot sauce sommelier. I think that's pretty well known. And I was in my room when Josh and Seb came over, had a little mini party. They ordered pizza, and Seb's like, "Oh, there's a bunch of cool hot sauces. Josh, which one should I try?" It's the wrong person to ask. Because either Josh knows which one's the wrong one, or he doesn't know which one's the wrong one. Either way, he picked the wrong one. And he gave, my hot sauce is lined up like hot ones. It's mild to hot. He goes far to the right.
Oh, geez.
That's
Yeah.
Seb.
Yes.
Yeah, he messed up. So Seb grabs Mad Dog 357. It's a delicious but terrifying. I barely put eye drops in other hot sauces to dilute it. Splashes maybe an ounce on a slice of pizza. He's maybe right here in the bite as I'm walking in, and I can't, it's like a car crash. I can't yell stop fast enough. He just eats it. And I'm like, which one was that? And he just holds up, it was just this one. I'm like, something bad's about to happen. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's like the worst one. He's like, it's not that, oh fuck. And he starts panicking like he's having like an aneurysm and a stroke all at the same time. Next thing I know, we're across the street from that 7-Eleven. He runs there, and within 30 seconds, he's back with like a giant Knudsen of milk, just chugging this fucking thing, dying, and it's not helping. And to this day, I kind of think Josh knew what he was doing. I think Josh knew that was the worst hot sauce. I think he let Seb make that mistake once, and never again. And that is my favorite Seb story that I have.
Can I tell a Seb story?
You can absolutely tell a Seb story. If it's throw Seb under the tour bus day, I'm all about it because I love that guy.
Okay, so we had just finished up on stage, all of us, and it was like a sold out show. It was crazy. It was so much fun. We make our way over to the merch table, and we're all standing there, and Seb walks up last, and some
no.
I like this. If Nick is scared, I like this already.
Some girl looks at him and goes,
"Oh no, I just want to guess."
See the lines back there.
It's like, bro, I'm in the band. I just got off.
Literally goes, I'm in the band. It felt so bad.
So defeated.
Sorry, that was, and then, oh my God, there was another time we were all standing at the table. Ugh. And then this other girl goes to Seb and goes, "Can you take a picture of me in the..."
Oh my God, different girl, different show? Oh my God.
So that was this ongoing joke with all of us. Oh, sorry.
But dude, you have to make a music video where that's what just keeps happening.
God, I'm like crying.
Oh my God,
I'm
not.
So
Seb's
I'm
a
crying
good
for different reasons. Oh,
Seb is a good looking. He looks like he's in the band. He's on stage. He's like, how do you?
They recognize Josh, who's in the back, and is usually in the dark
behind cymbals. Make it like stands on Seb.
Those aren't the only two stories. It actually happens a lot. It's really sad.
Oh my God, I could not have written a better. That is so curb enthusiasm. I love that.
Right. Oh, now we need a funny one about Josh.
Yeah, I have plenty of my own, but none of them are band related. So I'll let any of you take over a Josh story.
Oh, Mick it. I'm putting this one on you.
Trying to think of a good Josh story.
So
That
many.
one time, no, I can't think of because I've only seen you guys live like in LA shows, like maybe 2 or 3 times at like in Echo Park. So I wouldn't have anything.
Okay, how about any funny story that's ever happened on tour?
Oh, that's me.
Ellie right now for some reason. That was the only one. That was the first one that popped into my mind. Was the Sam one?
That's good though. Like,
Sorry,
are there tour pranks like back in my day? Because I'm only a couple years older, or maybe the same age. Bands would prank war each other. Where
They still do.
I mean, they get vicious. I mean, there's stories like I know I can name by name, and I won't. Bands where the prank war led to actually slashing tires and getting personally and fucking abandoning people.
I would.
Like,
I would.
that is uncalled for.
That's too.
But
far.
do bands still like? Are you on tour with like red jumpsuit apparatus and like spike their tea with hot sauce or some shit like that, or any shenanigans between other bands?
Did we do anything for jumpsuit? I don't think we did anything.
No, I don't think we did either.
Okay, good, because you want to tour
We
with
were
them
just
again,
on
so I
tour
get it.
for so long that it was just like it was like we were with them for like 6 or 7 months. It was long. So I think by the end of it, all of us were just like it's just
When
so
we were with New Year's Day, there definitely was.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that was between everybody. It was just an ongoing that was such a riot of a tour. Oh my
It
god.
was.
So if you want to get into a prank war, call up Ash, go on tour with New Year's Day.
Oh yeah, that's such a thing.
We got
But we filled their what is it, the bandwagon with balloons. I remember that was what we did.
Oh, I love that.
it was hard.
And then
That's so harmless. Like, that's just fun.
yeah, it was just funny. Yeah,
We were rushing because we had to get it done before they got off stage.
yeah.
So all of us are like,
It was like 15 people just like.
it was fun though.
Oh, you did it by I say by hand, by mouth. That's crazy.
We
Not-
had some. We had some balloon canisters. I want to. Savage went and got some balloon canisters, but it only filled like 50 balloons. We were like, that's not
You're
enough.
gonna need a lot. You're gonna need more balloons.
Yeah.
That's
So-
And then Savage after midnight took their wheels off their trailer.
And wheeled them into the venue in the middle of the pit, and then sat on top of them.
And was that just like for sound check, or were they like
No, in the
on
middle of the
stage?
This was
show.
in the middle of the show. Yeah.
Were they on stage and the other band is wheeling the tires in? Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
okay, that's what I'm talking about. That is legendary status right there. They had to have learned that from another band or some shit like that. Because that's like that is
I would
behind
be
the
so scared to
music.
piss someone off doing.
Yeah, they're like, I've not gone on a like out of state tour. I am terrified of not what's going to happen to me, but of what I may do to somebody. Because I can't. I've pranked Josh every year. I live with him for April Fools. I paid rent in $1 bills that I froze in a
Yeah.
gallon bag of water that I put in the freezer. So I literally got $850 and it looked like mafia money, all rolled into ones. Put those into a freezer bag. I put the money in the bag, but then that bag in another bag and froze that. Put that in the freezer, and I said rent's in the freezer. I don't remember another prank. I think I dumped water on him when he walked in the house once. Like I set it on top of the door, so when he opened it, and then the year he
I
moved
know
out,
his exact reaction was like, oh.
Oh.
yeah, exactly. It was like, oh, what the fuck? And then he laughed because he knew it was me. And then the year that I think it was last March, he moved out before last year's April Fools. I still want to do this because I know where he lives. I want to make missing person posters with his phone number on them and him, and just post them.
Oh my god.
And I think it might be illegal, and he might see this. So now I kind of cop.
Well, if you put like a fake phone number, I think you can get away with it or something.
But I want people to call him though, and just be like,
Hmm.
yeah. But I was gonna only do it in the apartment complex for people.
Oh, there you go. Like the home number.
Because when he lived here, he would rehearse in the bedroom, and it's a 2-bedroom, and it's kind of a quarantine complex, and everybody knew he was the drummer guy. And I sort of looked like I could be his brother, and I got shit all the time. There was like, "Are you the fucking drummer?" I'm like, "No, dude, that's my roommate." So I was always on the defense when I had to go back to my car. But yeah, I've been pranking Josh for about 4 years now, and it wasn't just April Fools. It was just whatever I can think of. Like yeah, it's good times, man. I love Josh. He's funny, and hopefully you guys get along with him. And he's got a place in the band for a long, long time, and constantly
That
fuck
guy
with him.
sucks. I'm just kidding.
All he does is hit stuff and draw stuff.
Actually, we all have mutually agreed that Josh is the best person in the band. So,
But like just morally, or
in general.
okay. I'll take your word for it. I have very limited time hanging out with most of you. It usually is at Josh's parties or at shows. So, so on that note, I do want to get the last statements going out here. You guys do have things in the work. You are still a band, which is not a question anyone needs to ask.
No.
Lavenders comes out on November 5th. There may or may not be a record coming out in the future with singles leading up to it. Kaylee, not even in your free time, it's not even a hobby, it is a career. You do run Ridgeline Media, which is a graphic design company that you do from home. If you want to talk about that, talk about that. Tell people where to go, where to send their business if they need something drawn up, designed, or t-shirted.
URLs.
Yeah, we'll definitely get those handled for sure.
Yeah, I do merchandising mainly for artists, but lately I've been kind of branching out and doing like Twitch stuff. I've done company stuff. I've done everything. I'm a graphic designer,
Do you do a large percentage of the rival stuff, or since you learned how to do it, you do all of it?
Actually, I've done all the rival stuff except one t-shirt that Mickey is very proud that he has done.
So okay. On that note, Mickey, what are you up to, man? Are you in school? Are you still on Shameless? How's that rolling? How is pies, man? I love that.
Yeah, it's been school, and then I was I'm doing some clothing stuff every once in a while. A lot of builds and whatnot. I'm literally just trying a bunch of random things just to see what I really like doing. I mean, I already know what I like doing, but it's like, how do I know if I haven't tried things, So
yeah, that's me with this whole podcast thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like I've never done it before. I've watched plenty of them, so I'm just going with it. You play video games.
I recently learned how to make my own pickup.
That's sick. Okay, fuck the video games.
Yes,
I want to talk about the pickup thing real quick, because that's yeah.
Oh yeah, you made a pickup.
Are you just winding copper and ceramic until it sounds decent?
It's been like a
1 week. You looked at me.
It's been a scientific adventure, I'll tell you that, because I couldn't just do what it looked like. I had to, for me, and this is kind of the mechanical engineer part of me, where I have to understand exactly how it works to make it efficient. So it was like when I first looked into it, I had literally just taken the crappiest guitar I had. I think it was like some Squire Strat, right? That was like maybe worth $50. I pulled the pickups out of it. I cut the pickups open and I was like, what are you? And then started looking into all these things. And I was like, okay, like this isn't that complicated. And then it's crazy. I started doing the windings and realized that doing it by hand sucks because a good humbucker has 2 ribbons and each one has, like, if you want a darker tone, between 9,000 to say 13,000 winds on it. And that's a lot to do by hand.
Yeah.
So,
and most, I was able to go to the Gibson factory in Nashville, which is the only time I've ever been to Nashville. And they have construction lines of just people that just do that. There's people that just carve the inlays, people that just do the bindings, people that just do the windings. And you have to be an apprentice to a luthier on the windings for like 10,000 hours before you can even build one that goes into a Gibson. So it's a tedious process that I've only seen from the outside, and probably don't have the mind to micromanage or reverse engineer something like that. So that is insane. And if you ever get something made that gets mass produced, send me a pair and I'll put them in whatever I got.
Super down.
I second that. I'll buy one of your pickups as well.
Can we name them like the Mickett Pickets or something like that, or is there?
Well, that's the genius.
You got a brand name, the Woodles. First thing you need is a name. What kind of band?
What's crazy is that so when I started doing them by hand, I I don't have all of the tools. I know like in an actual factory, they have a very, very specific machine that does it. Or, you know, in some places they actually have somebody do it by hand, which I'm sorry. But regardless, I didn't have the tools exactly. And like, they're expensive. It's like, it's a lot of money that I didn't have at the time. So I ended up taking pieces of things that I had around my room to create a pickup winder. So it was like,
you have like copper pipes and glass.
No, it's like a shoelace, some
A rubber band and a CD player.
Yeah.
MacGyver.
Jesus
Right
Christ, dude, you are
McGyver.
Oh shit, that's the pickup. Oh man, like I know you're crafty. I know you're much smarter than I am when it comes to that stuff. So that's
funny.
Rivals guitarist McGyver from now on.
What's funny about that is the very first model I did for the machine to wind this pickup was the fan from a computer, a little Arduino circuit, which was helping the second side with the little motor, and a rubber band. So
and a rubber band, of course, man. Those are as diverse as they come. Cool. So I want everybody to go check out Rivals on every platform you can. They are on Spotify, they're on YouTube, they're on Apple Music.
URLs in the
yeah, we're gonna drop every link below. There's my finger pointing down. Yeah. New track, Lavenders, November 5th. I'm gonna do some magic and blast some graphics all over this podcast so people can get images of the merch and the songs.
Can it be a giant bolt?
Yeah, I could do like, I'll do star wipes, I'll do transitions, I'll do all this cool stuff. That's my new hobby right now, is like just trying to be like a content creator and look decent, I guess, in my free time.
I thought you were gonna say star wipes.
Yeah, star wipes.
That's my new.
Sorry, it's a lie. The whole video is gonna be vaporwave. The entire video.
Sick.
Just this whole video is just gonna be vaporwave, and then the audio is just gonna be just very muffled.
I'm gonna run a VHS filter on it. So I really appreciate Kaylee, Mickett from Rivals coming in. Hopefully someday I'll get the Rhythm Section 7 Josh in here, tell their own stories, get their chance, get their revenge on the embarrassing tour stories side of things. But thank you so much for coming in. Anytime you guys want to come back, the Circle of Debate will absolutely have you. And I really appreciate you letting me be the first host of this type of podcast. So thank you so much.
Thank you.